Hey everybody, you're checking out Too Much CGI. My name is Bill. I'm here as always with my buddy Scott. We're a show where we talk all about the nostalgia that we all grew up on. If you're like a 40-something, 50-something nerd, you found your tribe. Welcome. We're talking a lot about Halloween stuff this whole month, aren't we, Scott?
Yeah, we're up to volume 4 in our Things That Go Bump in the Night series. Today we're going to be talking about some witches.
And that's a good topic because that means we can put in all those fun witchy sound effects.
Yeah, we've been going a little heavier on the sound effects here lately.
So I want to ask you, you've actually been doing a lot of them now. So nobody really knows how we do the show or how we put it together. But, you know, you're chipping in 4 hours. I'm chipping in 4 hours. And together, that's how we do the show. And you got this idea. You're like, hey, can I start dropping in sound effects? I'm like, hell yeah, the more the merrier. Like, they're fun. They're great punctuation marks in our show. I know people think we're ripping off Stern. Nah, we're paying homage to Stern. And now that I'm doing the last edit and I get your sound effects that you left for me, I just crack up laughing. It's so good.
I'm trying to walk that tightrope of just right without going too heavy. I want to be like the fucking the morning zoo drive time guy. Like, I want to be that fucking guy, but I do want to punch up. I think the sound effects almost were like a third character to the show here.
Well, speaking of third character, we had Michelle on last week. She was great. Everybody's telling me how much they liked her. Many people have said, hey, I think maybe you ought to bring some more women onto the show.
I'm open to it. She could take my spot. I'm out.
Hey, listen, I quit.
I think I have a complaint about Michelle's game from last week, and I'm going to contest the whole results of the thing.
Oh, no, wait a minute.
I think she's playing favorites, Bill.
Because I won?
No. Well, hold on. So we did a practice round. I did Jaws. We started keeping score. You go. And then when we finish it out, you went last. You can't bat first and bat last. That's not how this fucking works. I will say I still lost by 6 points. So the best I could have done was get back within 2, but I still could have lost better.
Yeah, I know. When you guys told me you won by 6 points, I'm like, well, that can't be right. But I'm not going to say anything because I finally won something, you know?
Yeah. I still feel like I won 2 because I got all 4 points for Halloween, which is my most favorite of all Halloween movies. So I'm considering that a win.
Participation award.
Yeah, that was a fun game, man. That was a fun Halloween game.
It was a real fun game. So anytime Michelle wants to come back on, certainly the invite's there.
Speaking of really fun Halloween games, guess what I got?
Is it a really fun Halloween game?
It's a really fun Halloween surprise game. Surprise game, everybody. Surprise game. You all know I love my surprise games.
Surprise.
Michelle set that bar pretty high, so you better bring it.
So surprise game. So I was thinking about horror movies, and, you know, I talk about it a lot. I'm getting older, and I'm kind of looking at some of the shit that's coming out now and going, oh, that's too gross, too weird for me, not even weird. I like weird. The murder porn is the thing I don't like. But I really do love Halloween. I love horror movies, and I love the comedic ones.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. There's a lot of wacky friggin' movies out there.
Yeah.
You're already laughing. So what I've decided to do was come up with a list of really wacky horror movies, and I'm going to read a summary of them. And you have to hear all of them. And then at the end, you're going to have to tell me which one I made up.
Okay. I like this.
And to be real, I didn't make it up. AI made it up. AI made it up. I asked AI to give me a terrible horror movie plot, and it did. And it fit right in with the rest of these. And I was like, this is perfect.
Holy shit. All right. Well, I hope I'm up to the challenge.
Did I ever tell you the story? Somebody told me this once, and I don't know if it's true. But remember you used to see the happy masks and the sad masks, and they would be together. It was always this icon of comedy and drama.
Yeah, you brought this up when we were talking about Frankenstein, and you were saying that Frankenstein's a comedy because you would see the monster and go, oh my gosh, but then you'd laugh at it. Yeah, you talked about that 2 episodes back.
Yeah, you know what? I was just, as it was coming out of my mouth, I was like, you know, I was talking about this with somebody. Sometimes I don't know when I'm talking about things on this show or off this show. But so some people think horror movies are comedies. And to me, the best horror movies are the ones that have a touch of humor and out of this worldliness. They're my favorite ones. So what I've done here is I made a list of really crazy, silly horror movies. And it's sort of, every one of these is in the vein, I think almost every one of these is in the vein of Trauma. So I was also inspired by this whole, new Toxic Avenger movie coming out that I haven't seen, but the trailer's out now. And I sent it to you.
Yeah.
I don't get it. I don't get what they're doing. So it's not made by Trauma, which is weird because they have Trauma markings all over it. It looks like a Trauma love letter. Maybe that's why they made this movie. But to me, it's just like, you better show me that you're doing this for more than just trying to cash in on somebody else's IP. Anyway.
The entire trailer was like done in the disguise of like a news report where like they're reporting on this brand new, toxic crime fighter that comes out, and he's like, there's a hostage situation. He's going in to break it up, and yeah, just gore galore, and just goes crazy with the whole thing. But it very much felt like Trauma for sure.
Yeah, but Trauma's art. Like, Trauma is a group of artists doing shit, that is the lowest budget, most astonishing and offensive thing. Like, that's the art. This is just, hey, make the next CGI horror movie and make some money on it because people know the name. Ugh, I hate it.
But the campy feel was definitely there.
Yeah, I got to see the movie.
Yeah, me too.
But we're in that area here. Okay, so I'm going to read you. I think I have 6. I think I have 6 movies here.
5 are real, 1 is fake.
5 are real, 1 is fake. And
okay.
The one that is fake was written by AI. And when I tell you, dude, it blended right in with all of these, I'm not lying. You're going to laugh when you find out which one is the fake one written by AI, because it fits right in.
You know what? I'm going to guess, based on the recent strike, more than one of these may have been written by AI, but one of these we know was written by AI.
Right, exactly. All right, we'll start with, and some for people that are listening, we got our horror fans out there, I'm sure. Some of these you might know, so give Scott a break. Just settle down. I can hear you already. All right. Bad Milo. The movie follows the story of Duncan, a man who is experiencing extreme stress in his life. This stress takes a unique and bizarre physical form, a small demon-like creature living inside his intestines. Duncan's inner demon, which he names Milo, emerges from his body and embarks on a killing spree, targeting those who have caused Duncan stress and anxiety.
100% real.
While Milo is responsible for these gruesome acts, Duncan struggles with the moral dilemma of dealing with this part of himself. Don't answer, but I'm just going to read these to you. One-Eyed Monster. In the movie, an alien presence takes over the body of Ron Jeremy, a famous adult film actor, turning his most notable organ into a murderous entity. When the members of an adult film crew who are shooting in a remote cabin realize this, they must fight for survival against the now autonomous and homicidal appendage. Okay, One-Eyed Monster. Is it real?
Love it.
Is it not real? We'll
Let's
find out soon.
hear the others.
Number 3, Rabid Grannies. Rabid Grannies. The plot revolves around 2 elderly ladies, the Grannies, who transform into flesh-eating demons after receiving a cursed gift from a black sheep family member during a family gathering. As the Grannies go on a rampage during the family gathering, the relatives must try to fend off the demonic Grannies and find a way to survive the night. Rabid Grannies.
Okay.
All right. Got a couple more. Toast of the Undead. In a small town named Crispyville, a local factory begins mass producing a line of toasters, which are given out for free as part of a promotional campaign by the mayor, who's hoping to win re-election. Unknown to the townspeople, the toasters are made with illegally obtained metal from grave robbers. Every morning, as residents in Crispyville enjoy their breakfast, the toasters come alive. Instead of toasting bread, they start burning anything they can clamp onto. Shoes, plants, toys. But things take a dark turn when the toasters have a preference for human fingers. Toasty! That is Toast of the Dead.
Okay. All right.
Rabid Grannies, One-Eyed Monster, Bad Milo, Toast of the Dead, and this final one, Trick or Treat. Eddie's favorite rock star, Sammy Kerr, dies in a tragic accident. After Sammy's death, Eddie is given a rare, unreleased record album by a DJ containing the last recording made by Sammy Kerr. Eddie discovers that by playing the record backwards, he can communicate with Sammy's spirit. However, as we've seen, things take a dark turn as Eddie realizes that Sammy's spirit is malevolent, and he begins to use his supernatural powers to seek revenge on those who wronged him in life. Eddie must find a way to stop Sammy Kerr's vengeful rampage before it's too late. But Scott, there's one more.
Oh, there's 6. Okay. All right.
Have you heard of the Greasy Strangler? The Greasy Strangler. All right.
Not.
The film revolves around the relationship between a middle-aged man named Big Ronnie and his adult son, Braden, who lives together in a dilapidated home. The two run a disco-themed walking tour, but they become involved in a bizarre and disturbing series of events when a mysterious serial killer clown known as the Greasy Strangler begins terrorizing their town. The killer, covered in grease and wearing only a thong, strangles his victims and leaves behind a trail of greasy residue because he is very greasy. There we go. We got the Greasy Strangler. We got Trick or Treat. We got Toast of the Undead. We got Rabid Grannies. We got One-Eyed Monster. And we have Bad Milo. One of these movies was completely made up by AI. What do you think it is?
So here's where I'm at. They're all plausible because they're all equally as bad. I want to say that number 2, One-Eyed Monster, is the fake one. However, unless you specifically asked AI to make up a horror movie starring Ron Jeremy, I don't think AI would have put that together. This was the only one that actually had like an actor involved in real life. So as much as I want to say that one's fake, I have to imagine it's true, and Ron Jeremy be all on board for some kind of bullshit like that. So,
So this one's safe?
I think it's going to be safe. I'm going to say, as weak as it is, I'm going to say Toast of the Undead is the fake one.
Well done. Well fucking done.
Yeah?
Toast of the Undead. In a small town named Crispyville, a local factory begins mass producing a line of toasters. All of this written by AI. I just asked it for a silly monster movie storyline, and it gave me this. And I was like, man, this fits right in with all the others that I found. And that astonished me. I mean, did I use that word right? That astonished me. I was astonished. It's as bad as these other ones. And now I understand why the writers went on strike. Like now I see why they're afraid of AI.
In fact, that synopsis went into more detail than any of the other ones. Like as far as setting and everything else, that's kind of what led me to that one once I ruled out number 2.
The Greasy Strangler is one I've never heard of. I found that one out today, but Trick or Treat's a favorite.
I know Trick or Treat.
Yeah, a lot of people like that one. That's one of the best ones from the 80s.
Yeah.
Like if you're out there listening, you haven't seen Trick or Treat, the 80s version, and you love like the hair metal days and the Ozzy Osbourne days, you're doing yourself a disservice because it is one of the most fun 80s horror movies out there, and so many people don't remember it. Rabid Grannies, I think, was a trauma movie, actually.
It felt like it. Yeah. I could just see them having like the black sheep relative giving them the gift that turns them into the skin-eating zombies or skin-eating creatures.
And then Bad Milo. So it's actually played by this guy, Ken Marino, who, if you don't know his name, you'll look at him and go, I've seen you in things. Like he's just been in things, like maybe Adam Sandler things or something.
The price is wrong.
So
bitch.
he's the guy
I've
that
heard
now
of
has a
this.
demon. Yeah, it's actually kind of recent. So you might have seen it flipping through the dials on new releases in the last year or two. Well, I was going to go into what are you watching since we're talking about horror movies and horror content, but on an unrelated horror story, Dick Pudkiss has passed away. Dick Pudkiss.
You talking about Dick Butkus, the Chicago Bears great lineman?
That's him, Dick Butkus. To me, he's the 80s icon who had the best name ever to a 10-year-old boy.
Yeah, for sure. It is something to say that when your first and last name are the punchline of so many jokes.
Here, I ripped this right out of Entertainment Weekly for us. Dick Butkus, the feared and famously intense linebacker from the Chicago Bears, who later became a fixture in films, TV shows, and commercials, died October 5th at age 80. In 1970, Butkus appeared as himself in the celebrated movie Brian's Song. I remember that. It was kind of like a big thing that was around. It was too sad. I didn't see it. Starring James Caan and Billy D. Williams. After retiring from the NFL in 1973, Butkus went on to appear in football-themed films such as The Longest Yard, Necessary Roughness. I remember that. Any Given Sunday, and was a regular in sitcoms My Two Dads. That's what I remember him from. I'm sitting there, I was thinking, like, what do I know him from? Because I used to see him a lot. My Two Dads was a dumb show that I used to watch. He was in My Two Dads and Hang Time. What's Hang Time? That rings a bell.
I don't know Hang Time.
Seems like a good guy. Like, he's one of them guys that would show up and just have a smile, and you just smile. And you're like, your name is Dick Butkus, and you're still happy. I like that. That just makes me happy.
He owned it, man. He owned it.
Well, completely on the other side of a dead celebrity is this show. Have you heard about this show called Naked Attraction? Dude, I can't believe this show exists. So it's on Max, right? This is basically the new version of Cinemax at night. It is a game show where the person who comes out, it's a dating show. The person who comes out, let's say it's a female. She comes out, she goes, okay, I'm going to date somebody. All right, you got to narrow it down to one of 5 of these people. And they're in a tube. Can't see them. And he goes, all right, let's raise the tube so we can start to see a little bit of the people. Raises right up to their belly button. Nobody's wearing any pants. Full frontal nudity. Full frontal nudity. And the host is asking the woman, what do you think? And they are judging the men's genitalia. And I'm like, this can't be happening right now. This is something that 90s mentality would watch. Like, this can't be something that's airing now. I'm like, they're not going to go any further. They start raising up again, right? Now you get to the face. Well, what do you think of his face? And they're just, the whole thing is, will you find love if you look at somebody, you know, from a superficial way instead of getting to know their mind first? And that's basically what they do. And then they reverse it. They have a woman out there, and, or, you know, they have a man out there, and then women come up, and there's women for women. There's all kinds of stuff. But I punched out, and I went, holy shit, I have become a prude. This is too much nudity for me. When I was a little kid, I tried so hard to figure out when I could time a alarm clock that wouldn't wake up my parents to come down at exactly 2:15 to watch a nude scene in a movie, because I knew it was exactly at 2:15. That's how calculated I was to see nudity as a kid.
I'd be happy enough to watch the scramble pattern and make something out in between the scrambles of the channels we didn't get.
Man, those are the old days. When you found a magazine in the woods, a porn magazine in the woods, and you were the happiest kid in the world.
And now you're turning it off.
Oh, now I'm turning it off.
Man.
It is something, though. I encourage everyone to give that social experiment a try. I lasted the first contestant, and once I introduced the second one, I was like, I don't think I could do another round. Like, I know this is like several shows deep. I don't think I got past maybe 20 minutes of the first show.
I, for one, don't believe it's necessarily possible just to base your attraction to someone solely on physical attributes. I don't believe that. I couldn't roll that way. So I don't know if I'd jive with the show.
Yeah, I couldn't either, except for Pamela Anderson, Cindy Crawford, the Barbie twins.
I don't know. Maybe fun for a little bit, but long term, get the fuck out.
What about you? What are you watching?
Playoff baseball? But when I'm not watching playoff baseball, I last night watched the original Ghostbusters, 1984's Ghostbusters. I've just been going through and watching some of the classics for, you know, scary movies, ghost movies, stuff like that. Some of it for the show, some of it just for me. But I made a discovery that in all the times that I've watched Ghostbusters, I made a discovery last night that I don't know if you even know this. So you know how everybody jokes around about Reginald VelJohnson and how he's the cop in Die Hard, and then he plays the same kind of cop character in Family Matters? Well, he's also the cop in Ghostbusters when they get locked up by the EPA. Reginald VelJohnson. This dude was the most typecast cop I've ever seen in my life.
We should interview him and see if he was upset about that.
Man, he made a career out of it, that's for damn sure. But I'm thinking that puts Ghostbusters potentially, because he was an unnamed cop in Ghostbusters, it could be the same universe. So we've done a show before about shared cinematic universes and secret shared cinematic universes. I think Reginald VelJohnson has his own secret universe.
That means Peter Venkman and Urkel.
Peter Venkman,
might actually
Urkel?
Be breathing the same air.
It's very possible.
I did see he was in it. We watched that movie, I think, last Halloween with some of my employees, and I think somebody called it out. Hey, that's Urkel's dad or something like that. So I think that's the only reason I do.
I mean, I had to have seen it before, but maybe he's just always a cop so often he just never stood out. And last night, for whatever reason, I was like, holy shit, that was Reginald Val Johnson playing a cop. Again.
How about some of those actors that always play like the bad guy henchman?
Oh, sure.
That's all they'll ever be. I hope one day they hire me to be a leading man. No, you're too ugly, and ugly people are bad people. So you're a bad guy henchman. Oh, I see. Okay.
Always.
Hollywood is a vicious town. Why can't I be a leading man? You're too ugly. You're a henchman. Oh.
Well, we do have a leading role for an ugly person, but we're going to give it to a beautiful person and put a lot of makeup on him.
Yeah. Start an ugly person union. All right. Well, it's about that time where we get to the main segment.
Tonight, we're talking about witches. I'm not here to offend. I know that there could be some controversy. People of the Wiccan faith that practice what has become known as witchcraft and, you know, the witch hunts and everything that went along with it in real, history here. Just really here to talk about movies that involved what people historically know as witches.
I want you to tell me more about the thing you're trying not to talk about, because I don't know a ton about that.
By talking more about it?
Yeah. Because I meet people sometimes that are like, yeah, I'm into like astrology and this stuff and these herbs. And I'm like, is that one of them Wiccans? Is that one of them witches? Like, I don't know. And then I'm like, do they really believe in the stuff, or is it just fun? Is it kind of like cosplay? Yeah, I don't know. Sorry to be naive, but I don't know.
There's a real religion out there with Wiccans, and they do believe in herbal healing, herbal remedies, things like that. But the term witch, going back, it was viewed upon as, the witches are often called brides of Satan and things like that, as it comes up in several of our movies here that we'll talk about moving forward. But, it was really a way by the Catholic Church to point a finger at anything that wasn't Christian and went against their beliefs. So it was really us versus them kind of thing. They used to kind of bastardize and demonize people that had different beliefs than what they did. Tale as old as time.
No, it's like after you've seen it a million times. I was just thinking, like, what's an original take of it? Even Scarlet Witch, that show that was on a couple of years ago about the Scarlet Witch, went down the same path. And I'm like, man, there's not much more that you could say about witches.
Yeah.
To me, it's a topic that, like, I bet you I'd be surprised if we go a whole half hour on it, because it's a topic that I don't think it has a lot of diversity, at least in terms of the kind of movies we watch.
You were talking a little bit there about like some mysticism and astrology and some other realms that kind of touch on it, but herbology is part of it, like using herbs to heal, old cures that people would call like old wives' tales would really be a form of, I guess, witchery. You can call it that. But in films, it's kind of done a number of different ways. Up to current, I just finished watching the Ahsoka series, and they have the Night Sisters on there. And I know we talked about this a little bit last week, but, in canon or in universe, the Night Sisters were also called the Witches of Dathomir. So they were a tribe of women only, and they used their connection to each other and to, in Star Wars, the Force to do magic and perform magic and rituals. And in there, they actually raise the dead and things like that. So they use necromancy and things like that. So there's a lot of real life things that people that are Wiccan do, but then there's always like this spiritual, evil, raise the dead kind of mythology that goes along with it too. That is more movie based.
Then you have a White Witch and a Wicked Witch of the West and yeah.
And you know what? We could pick up right there. I mean, go no further than The Wizard of Oz. I mean, as you just said, there was good witches, there were quote unquote wicked witches. How the whether they practiced white magic or black magic, or it was really a tale of the witches and the Wicked Witch trying to get revenge for Dorothy killing her sister, and then the good witch Glenda got her sent back home to Kansas in the real world. But it was all a dream, and you were there, and you were there, you were there. Yeah, so that is definitely more of like an epic fantasy movie involving witches. in making my list, I went right to 1987's The Witches of Eastwick.
Interesting. That's where you would start.
Yeah.
That's on my periphery as being a movie not for kids, because I was 12 going, I wouldn't understand the jokes. So I've never seen that one. But as I go through the list here on IMDb, yeah, it's rated pretty high, and I forgot Jack Nicholson's in it.
Starring Jack Nicholson, Cher, Susan Sarandon, and Michelle Pfeiffer. And Cher, Susan Sarandon, and Michelle Pfeiffer are three women who were married and now are not, and they are close friends, and they, through one of their conversations, are living in a New England town of Eastwick, and they kind of make this wish for what their perfect man would be, and up shows Jack Nicholson, who basically kind of plays the devil and teaches them some magic and things, and then there's a power struggle, and they use their magic to then overcome his charms. But there's some great monologues in there from Jack Nicholson. Definitely classic Jack acting for sure. But yeah, 87's Witches of Eastwick, definitely where I went to right away.
Is Jack Nicholson charming in that? Are you saying they're trying to...
Yeah, that's a funny thing. Like they're kind of describing like their perfect man that they want to meet, and then this guy shows up and he's not. He's kind of like crude and obnoxious and things, but he still has a way to charm them and seduce them. And he actually goes through and seduces each one. And yeah, he's the devil. That's what it comes down to. He knows their darkest desires.
You think there was a woman out there who was like, I'm really into Jack Nicholson. He really turns me on. You think that's possible?
I don't know.
I think I'm going to watch it, because a cast like that was a good, every one of them independently on other things I would watch. So yeah, I'll watch this.
For sure. So second on my list here when thinking about witches in movies, 1996 is The Craft, starring Nev Campbell and Fairuza Balk. Are you familiar with this one at all?
Yeah, I remember when it came out, because that was that, I'm the angsty teen at that age, 96. Yeah. I'm not even teen. I'm almost 20, 21. But yeah, I don't know. The monster, the horror stuff, the spooky stuff, everything started to get dramatic in the 90s. It started to become more soap opera-y. And I remember this coming out. I know I saw it. And no, didn't stick with me. I remember they even tried to make a remake. I don't know. People didn't seem to care. But when we were kids, this was a popular movie for a lot of, I think it was mostly women like this. I don't know that I know many men who like this movie.
Yeah, so just to refresh memories of those out there, or maybe just to fill you in for those that haven't seen it, The Craft involves four girls who are attending a Catholic high school, and they start practicing witchcraft. Actually, Nev Campbell's the new girl. So I guess the three of them, Fairuza Balk being their leader, and for those that don't know Fairuza, she has a very unique look. I remember her from Almost Famous, and probably most popularly as Vicky Valancourt, the Waterboy's girlfriend from The Waterboy. But she's the leader of this coven, and they invite Nev Campbell to come and be a part of it. And then they start off doing stupid shit like changing their hair color and light as a feather, stiff as a board and shit like that. Well, then they start putting like spells and curses on girls at school that like piss them off. And then before too long, they start turning on each other, and Nev Campbell starts, retaliating against the Fairuza character, and they go back and forth. And spoiler for a movie that came out in 1996, till it's all said and done, Nev Campbell keeps her powers and the rest of them do not. Yeah, it was basically a story about four girls practicing witchcraft while attending Catholic school. So to your point, though, Bill, there was definitely that angsty teen. I remember a lot of goth kids liked The Craft. I also remember there being quite a bit of not great CGI, where like the one had like spiders coming down the wall, but then like the one girl's fingers like turned into snakes, and the snakes were like not good CGI, I recall. So there was some things in there that bothered me, but that was what we were getting in 96,
Fairuza Balk. Wasn't she in American History X? Was she in that?
Yeah, I believe she was.
Oof, she was brutal in that. And she was the little girl in Return to Oz. Remember the sequel in the 80s? Yeah, she was Dorothy in that.
Yeah, that was a freaky movie too.
She's still making movies?
I don't know what she's up to.
Might be on that conference circuit now.
She might be on Dancing with the Stars. Actually, I think she's probably too big of a star for Dancing with the Stars.
I was just going to say that. At this point, I think the people on Dancing with the Stars are maybe even smaller than the conference circuit at this point.
I think you might be onto something. Yeah.
Is that pink eye? That's a form of gonorrhea. You better get the fuck out of here.
You better get the fuck out of here. Thanks, Dr. Billy.
If you don't know what we're talking about, you're not tuning in enough.
Next up, 1999 Sleepy Hollow by Tim Burton.
Okay.
Now, for most people, the most memorable thing about Sleepy Hollow was Christopher Walken playing the Headless Hessian.
This guy.
However, for those that are more familiar with the movie, know that the only reason that the Headless Horseman was haunting Sleepy Hollow is because of the witchcraft of Lady Von Tressel, who was played by Miranda Richardson, who was the stepmother, the evil stepmother, that old trope of Christina Ricci's character. Basically, the horseman was under the control of Lady Von Tressel and basically killing anybody that she commanded him to do so.
Did you say Headless Hessian?
Hessian. He was a Hessian soldier that had his head taken off.
I didn't know if that was like an internet glitch from the tool we're using. A Hessian? I've never heard that word before. Headless Hessian.
Yeah, Hessians came from, I guess, just west of Prussia. So
Okay.
German soldiers. Yeah.
All right. And the witch is who? I mean, the witch is, I don't even remember which is in that.
If you go back and watch, and this will totally spoil it, the reason that the Hessian was caught during the war was because there were two creepy little twin girls that gave away his cover by snapping a twig. Soldiers come, cut off the Hessian's head, it rolls away. Well, the one woman, the one twin, ends up living as a witch in the woods, and she's like the main culprit or the main red herring throughout most of the movie. But her twin sister was actually the one that went on to become Lady Von Tressel when she married the elder. I guess he was like one of the more prominent townspeople, and she also practiced witchcraft, but behind closed doors. Johnny Depp comes in as Ichabod Crane, pulls away Christina Ricci's bed, sees a big pentagram type drawing, like a hex thing under the bed, realizes that witchcraft is what's powering the horseman. So it goes back to witchcraft after all.
How about it? Never knew it. Never saw that movie.
No?
And Tim Burton did that, didn't he? I don't
Yeah, I was
think I ever
gonna
saw.
say.
Yeah. I remember the cartoon would come on every year. And I
Oh,
never
the
even really
Disney
liked the
cartoon?
cartoon. Yeah.
With the guy with the big nose?
I don't like horsemen. I must have a thing against them. I was like, this is stupid. The thing's got no head. It's chasing him around. Maybe it really seriously spooked me. I don't know. Yeah, I've always stayed away from headless horsemen.
So here in town, there were Hessians that were stationed here in town. So when I learned the history of the Headless Horseman, that he was a Hessian soldier, like there's a Hessian road right up above City Park. And I often thought that like, oh, damn, like, did that happen here? But no, it was Sleepy Hollow, New York. But it was always like that weird local history of, it was almost like that fictional history where it made me think like, oh, that could have happened here during the Revolution.
Revisionist history.
There you go. Revisionist history. That's a good way of putting it. You know, just like Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter.
Not a bad movie, actually. Kind of
like
enjoyed it.
We should have brought it up during our vampire episode. But
Yeah, forgot that one.
Next up on my list, this one's kind of funny. Much as we talked about there being different kinds of ghost movies last week with comedic ones and horror ones, of course, and then there were children's movies, there's the same for witches because we have Harry Potter. Harry Potter's been a controversial one. We got religious fanatics trying to still burn the books and ban the books from schools, but movies that it spawned came out in 2001, 2002, 2004, 2005, 2007, 2009, 2010, and 2011. Of course, follows the adventures of Daniel Radcliffe's Harry Potter, Rupert Grint's Ron Weasley, and Emma Watson's Hermione Granger as they went through Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry. So they were learning how to become witches living in the world of muggles.
Where in the world are they still burning books? We have the internet now. You can burn all the books you want. Kid's still going to download it.
Well, apparently you haven't seen news stories about the state of Florida, where most of the elementary school libraries are pretty bare.
So people are really up in arms about this story, huh?
Oh, big time.
I know I
just
see
this one.
headlines. Yeah, I see headlines about the writer. I don't care. Never cared. My kid has seen him. He likes all of them. He watched it with his mom. I think I caught one with him. Yeah, I know nothing about these. I never really understood the love for this Harry Potter thing. So maybe one day I'll get caught up on it.
So in a previous life, I was an elementary education major going to Penn State, and I actually read all these books as they came out. It wasn't until 2020 during the pandemic, lockdown and everything, when the wife and kids we watched all the movies in order over the course of like a week and a half. So now they're all into it. They know what's going on with Harry Potter. But yeah, J.K. Rowling came out. She said some transphobic shit. Definitely not gathering any support there. But people go to Universal Studios every day and they get witches' cloaks and magic wands and witches' hats. And they're out there cosplaying as witches on a daily basis.
So wait a minute. When did witches and wizards become one and the same?
Well, a wizard is a male witch.
Wait, a wizard is Merlin. Merlin's not a witch.
And here's the real question. If wizards are male witches, what's a warlock?
What the fuck's a warlock?
You clearly haven't played Dungeons and Dragons, sir.
Yeah, you can't mix wizards and witches. They're two completely different generations. How dare
It's
they?
an age thing?
I think they didn't give a shit thing. They're like, you know what? Throw them all in the same pot. Throw some dragons in there, some snakes, some giants, some ogres. Throw a little everything in there.
And they really did.
Was all that in Harry Potter?
It was all in Harry Potter. Oh, also with Harry Potter, I'd be remiss if I didn't go back and talk about the sequels that it spawned with Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. I think that spawned 2, if not 3 movies as well. So there was a continuation universe after the Harry Potter thing ran its course.
And that was the Johnny Depp movie, right? Wasn't he part of that franchise? And that's what he got fired from.
For the first one, yes. And then they brought in the guy from Rogue One to finish out his role for the next one. Mads Mikkelsen?
I don't know. His brother is Thrawn.
Yes.
Yeah.
He does the voice of Thrawn. He did the voice of Thrawn in Clone Wars, and now he's actually playing it in live action.
Why do you always take us off track? We were talking about Johnny Depp. So I think Johnny Depp sued
Johnny
Amber
Depp
Heard.
lost his role because of his bullshit and the court cases. And it was given to Mads Mikkelsen. I didn't take us off course. You did.
We still got to go back a couple roads.
Yeah.
Where were we? Let's just rewind the tape.
I was talking about Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them.
Right.
Yes.
Never saw it. Probably still won't.
I fell asleep during the first one. Never watched the second one with Mads. And if there was a third one, I'm not even sure that there was.
Did you know Mads' brother is Thrawn?
Shut up, Bill. All right, I have 2 more left here. And we talked about this one last week, the Blair Witch Project from 1999. And this is one where it's like, is it a ghost movie? Is it a witch movie? What category does it fall in? I saved it for this week.
That movie had everybody's balls by they were just like the biggest thing. Was it a summer thing? Like it was just everywhere.
No, it was a fall thing. It definitely was a fall thing.
Oh my God. Everybody was riveted by that thing. Was it real? Wait, was it actually real? I heard it was actually real. I mean, I've even heard stuff about it. I've heard the directors were my neighbors growing up. Like all these stories start passing around. Like, oh yeah, it was shot here and all. Like everything gets everybody just makes shit up. This was pre-internet.
Yeah, it really was. So the story, for those that don't know, in 1994, 3 film students enter a Maryland forest in search of the Blair Witch, which was kind of like a, what do you call it? Urban myth, urban legend.
Yeah.
And they were never to be seen again. But 1 year to the day of them going into the forest, their film footage was found. And this is the movie that we're watching. So as I mentioned last week, this is really where the whole phenomenon of the found film footage movie came from.
And it really was a good gauge to show you who was stupid and who wasn't in society. Because the people that were falling for this, it was a great movie. And when I walked out, I went, damn. Woo. But come on. You know that wasn't a snuff film we were all watching, you know? So.
I was going to ask you if you remember seeing it and what your reaction was. So there you have it. You know what my reaction was?
What?
I thought I was going to throw up. I was fucking like motion sick from watching the bouncing around and all the running. And it was, I don't do well with motion sickness.
I remember the whole theater just going, oh, like when it ended, it was one of those kind of moments. Like, because it would just end, right? The flashlight dropped. It would just, if I remember right, just the body just standing there and then it ended. And the audience was like, what the fuck? What the?
That's it.
Like, that was the first time I ever saw a movie with an audience that didn't know how to respond. The second time was the Avengers Endgame. When all those characters drifted away and it just ended, the audience was like, what the? Did this just happen? Did everybody just get the same print of the movie as we got?
Yeah, there was absolutely no resolution at all for that movie. There was a Blair Witch 2 that came out. But
that was a totally different story. That was fiction. That was
it did
acted
not
out.
recapture the magic of the first one at all.
I even heard a rumor that they being whoever made the movie, went to like Best Buy and bought the gear, filmed the movie, took the gear back to Best Buy.
I hope that's true.
To get a refund. Save the money on the gear.
I hope that's true.
I do too.
Well, lastly, I have here 1993's Hocus Pocus. And this is probably the most famous witch movie. Comes out every year. Disney movie starring Bette Midler, Sarah Jessica Parker, and Kathy Najimy. They play the Sanderson sisters, Winifred, Sarah, and Mary. They're brought back to life in modern-day New England, and they try to capture children and steal their life force so that they can remain forever young and beautiful.
I got to watch this with my employees. We really have like movie night.
You have to, or they're making you?
They're making all of us.
Oh, okay.
They're making the owners of the company watch this movie. So we're doing like a Halloween, like a team building thing. And that was what got picked. And I said, okay, I've never seen it. You know, it's a Disney movie, I think.
Yeah.
So it should be high quality. Like, what am I getting into? Because I really don't know what this is.
It's a kid's movie.
Oh, okay.
The most famous person aside from the three witches is Thora Birch, plays the main character's little sister. And he's a fish out of water thing. He moves there from LA and he's now in New England. And while at school during a Halloween party, the teacher talks about the legend of the Sanderson sisters, and anyone who lights the candle on a full moon, the black flame candle of a virgin lights the black flame candle under a full moon or something, the Sanderson sisters will come back and they will walk the earth, and you know, it's that whole thing. But then there's a zombie in there and a talking cat, and there's just a lot of characters going on, and I won't spoil it for you. I will say it's going to be better for you as a team building exercise than a dizzy bat spin race.
Yeah, that didn't end well.
No, it did not.
That almost killed me like a joke about enzymes.
They did make a sequel last year, 2022, came out with Hocus Pocus 2, which was a direct-to Disney Plus streamer. It did not, for me anyway, recapture the magic of the original. Tried too hard.
Just, you would say it lost focus? Hocus Pocus?
Hocus Pocus focus? I think it did, yes. So that's what I jotted down for which movies that stood out to me for this topic here. Anything I'm missing or anything you could think of? Anything more to add?
Let me scroll down my cheat sheet here. Hansel and Gretel Witch Hunters. I saw it. I don't think that counts, but yeah.
Is it the Brothers Grimm with like Matt Damon?
Jeremy Renner.
Oh, Jeremy Renner.
You remember that?
Yeah.
But as I scroll down, I'll read out some of the names that I recognize as popular. The Wizard of Oz.
We talked about
that.
Yeah.
I was going to say, where was the witch? I was a wizard. Duh. Got the whole beginning. Drag Me to Hell. That was recent-ish. Yeah, nothing really on this list of top witch movies that I can even name as something I know of. Yeah, I'm not good with witch stuff. I know they had the, I hate witches.
Wow.
putting it out there. No, I don't hate anything. I don't know. They just don't appeal. They're boring to me. We tried to watch that one American Horror Story, The Coven. Amy loved it. And I was just like, I wish I did. I just don't get it. Just don't get it. As I shared
last week, man, I tried to hang right up until Stevie Nicks got forced down my throat in a bad story writing thing. You did mention something earlier, though, that I really didn't think about while putting this together. The Scarlet Witch and all of the mystic side of things that Marvel got into there, with Doctor Strange being the sorcerer and Scarlet Witch being, the witch, for lack of better terms. But yeah, they worked it into Marvel as well in comic books.
My wife and I went to Salem, and we were doing the tourist thing, and we went and saw all the witch stuff. And this is before, now you can go there and you can go to where the witch burnings happened, and there's a memorial there. It's kind of carved out of one of the side streets. But It used to just be a lump of land behind a Walgreens. Like, they thought it was in one place, and then historians were able to say, you know what? No, it's not here where you put this sign saying this is where it happened. It's actually back behind the Walgreens.
Fun fact, most witches during the Salem Witch Trials were not burned. I don't know if any of them were burned. They were either hung or crushed by stones.
Oh, what's that? Like, they just threw stones at them? Or dropped them in a hole?
They would lay them on the ground, put a board on top of them, and keep stacking boulders.
It's a lot of work.
They're trying to make a point.
Don't be a witch. Not worth it.
Don't be different in a closed-minded society. That's the takeaway here. Next week, we'll come back with our final installment of Things That Go Bump in the Night. We'll be talking about slasher movie villains.
See, now I can contribute better with then. Tune in then.
Yeah.
Delete this episode. How about we do some news?
Let's do some news.
All right, I got a couple here. And I'll be quick because I want to go watch The Greasy Strangler before I go to bed. So there's a rumor going around that Hasbro has chose not to create Ahsoka toys due to the lack of demand. A recent rumor suggests that Hasbro has opted not to produce toys based on the Ahsoka series on Disney Plus due to insufficient demand. Currently, only a few Ahsoka-related collectibles are available, with limited items representing characters from the series on Hasbro's site. This development aligns with a previously reported decline of 65% in Star Wars toy sales. Critics argue that Disney's handling of the Star Wars franchise, including its perceived shift in target demographic, has significantly impacted merchandise sales. And that's, huge, because Star Wars is built to be not just content, but toys.
I feel like that ship sailed. Like, we know people that basically their retirement savings was going to be Star Wars figures, right? We also know from work at previous employers that things that are made to be collectibles very rarely actually ever amount to being worth anything. It's the weird shit that nobody saves that becomes valuable. The stuff that everybody's saving and going to cons and trading and secondhand markets and all that shit, that's the stuff that just becomes overproduced and shelf life just wears off and value just declines. Look at baseball cards.
But that's not even representative of the stuff that they want to put out now, because they're going to want to put out stuff now for collectors, but they're also going to want to put them out for kids.
Yeah, but like I said before, I don't think Disney's doing a good job at marketing shows to kids. With all the fan service and how proud they were of talking about the fan service that they're intentionally putting into shows, that's not for kids. Kids don't want to buy or play with that.
Yeah, that was one of the lines in the article, was talking about shifting demographics. And it's like, well, yeah, if you're making shows for the old heads like me, I'm not buying your toys. And I do buy some toys. Like, I'm an adult who won't even mind spending on some kind of toy, but I'm not going to really go out and buy the toy. So I get why Hasbro would be like, nah, it's just going to cost too much plastic. This stuff's going to sit around. This day is over.
I agree.
The Star Wars toy day is over.
It's over, Johnny.
Yeah, I really think it has.
It's over.
I'm surprised there's not still a market for it. I thought, what you say is right. Things are only valuable if somebody wants them.
That's it, man.
Right.
Game over, man.
And if everybody has them, doesn't need them, if things aren't scarce, they're not in demand. And you're right, because I do walk into those toy stores sometimes and I see all those open Star Wars that I have sitting right here on my shelf that I'm real proud of because I've got my own 80s collection and they're open and I'm like, oh shit, everybody's got these, don't they? Yeah, they're hardly special anymore. So I think I falsely reported that Blue Beetle was the beginning of the new DCU, which was previously called the DCEU, which was previously called Prince. Nope, keep that.
Oh,
Don't delete that
God.
fucking joke.
That ain't making the cut.
Want to bet?
After definitively stating the DCU starts with Creature Commandos, James Gunn declares Peacemaker Season 2 will address the new DCU continuity. So I had previously said that I heard that Blue Beetle movie was the beginning of the DCU, which used to be called the DCEU, but now it's under James Gunn and Peter Safran. It's now called the DCU, just like Marvel is the MCU. But now what these guys are saying is that James Gunn confirmed, well, let me read it to you. DC Studios CEO James Gunn has confirmed that the second season of Peacemaker will address the new DCU continuity, which officially starts with Creature Commandos. Gunn highlighted that while certain actors would reprise their roles from past films, nothing would be canon until the release of Creature Commandos and subsequently Superman Legacy. However, there appears to be some contradiction as Peacemaker has already shown characters from the old DCEU, and Gunn has mentioned that you don't need to watch anything prior to Creature Commandos. This suggests that there might be some sort of multiverse explanation or connection between the old and new continuities. There's speculation on how smooth this transition will be, given the overlap in storylines and characters. Yeah, so I had to look up, what is Creature Commandos? So it's a DCU cartoon. They're kicking off their DCU, apparently, with Creature Commandos. And it's, Marvel's got one of these.
I was going to make a joke that they're starting off their new DCU with the Super Pets cartoon, but it sounds like they're actually doing exactly that.
They're actually doing exactly that. Yeah, it's a team of like vampires and wolves, and it's what they had over in Marvel. Marvel's got a team with a zombie, and yeah. So it's, I guess he thought this was interesting enough, so he wrote this show, and it's the first DCU show, which happens to be animated. The first DCU movie, because it's going to be a shared universe, the cartoon will tie in with the movie, will be the Superman movie, which is what he's working on now.
As soon as Blue Beetle came out, it's already now part of the extended universe and not even canon.
It's not part of the DCU, as I previously reported. Correct.
Wow.
It's canon to, Ben Affleck's Batman, but it's not canon to James Gunn's new vision.
Gotcha. All right, whatever.
Well, I don't know where we find Creature Commandos. I don't know when it comes out. It's the first I heard of it. But if you're excited for Creature Commandos, tell me where it airs. Or streams, I guess we should say.
You know what Creature Commandos reminds me of? Remember last year for Halloween, we got Disney Plus's Werewolf After Dark? Or After Midnight?
Yeah.
Are we going to get another installment of like a horror movie superhero?
Maybe that's where they're going. I mean, James Gunn has that wacky sense of humor. He might, this is probably exactly what he's doing.
Yeah, I kind of want it for Marvel, though. I don't really care about DC.
Well, you know who people have had enough of? Barbie.
Barbie?
Barbie finally pushed out of box office top 10 after a record-breaking run. And I can't wait to see this. I mean, I still haven't, and I see it's on streaming now. And it's just knocked out of the theater. That's how well this movie did. It's already streaming and in the theater. I don't know of any that was doing this. I've heard of movies that are on VHS and still in movie theaters back when I was a kid, but I can't remember thinking of, at least in a long time, at least post-pandemic, of this happening. So that's kind of cool. Tells you that maybe I was wrong and the movie theater world will survive. People do like going to the movie theaters. I do not anymore.
They do say Barbie and Oppenheimer are the ones that saved it.
After a successful 12-week run in the box office top 10, Barbie has dropped the number 12 spot due to a series of new releases. Barbie has garnered over $1.428 billion worldwide. The film's success can be credited to multiple factors, including brand recognition, the Barbenheimer phenomenon, referring to the simultaneous release of Barbie and Christopher Nolan's Oppenheimer. Positive reviews. Yeah, I didn't hear many negative reviews about it. Usually when something's that popular, you hear a big wave of ugly, angry reviews, and nobody really trashed it as far as I heard. And widespread audience enthusiasm. Even as it, he even says what I said. Even as its theatrical run ends, Barbie remains a popular choice on VOD platforms. Well, there you go.
Video on demand. Yeah, man, I still stand by it. I think it's a good movie, and I'll watch it again when it comes to streaming.
I know. I'm at that point where it's like, well, do I spend $19.99 or do I just wait till it finds a home on one of the fucking 800 channels that I pay $12.99 a month for and never use?
I mean, it can't be too much longer, right?
Probably not. I'm sure I can wait.
2,000 years later.
I waited this long to get a Barbie movie. I can wait a couple months.
You'll live, for sure.
Yeah, I'll live. Well, why don't we end the show? I never did the bumpers in the beginning. I keep forgetting to do it. So if you want to check us out, go to toomuchcgi.com. You can send us an email there. You can see our beautiful faces. You can go to Twitter, look at Too Much CGI. You can go to Facebook. We put a fun little video there of Brother Dan, Scott, and I talking and telling the Barney story with some added special effects. And people told me they thought it was really funny. So go to our social media. You know what? Maybe I'll put it into the end of this recording just so, you can't waste any content. You got to use every part of the buffalo. You can't waste it. So I'll attach it to this video or this recording and video. If you like to hear us on YouTube, some people like Michelle listens to us with a YouTube screen open. I don't do that. That seems odd to me.
And Brother Dan.
Does he do that?
Yeah.
What's wrong with podcasting from Spotify?
What do you listen to while you drive? Music?
Yeah.
Weirdo.
Well, until YouTube gets a proper podcast platform, they've got this like makeshift version in YouTube. Then people have to do what they're doing. I just think it's silly. And I don't think they're silly. I think Google is silly. That's it. What can I add? Let's close the show down. What can I add, Scott?
I don't know. While you wait for us to edit this, you can spend your time watching Witches of Eastwick like I'm going to do.
Should invite me over.
Maybe we'll do that. I don't know, man. I've been watching all my movies at about 11 o'clock at night after I can't sleep from watching my baseball team either win or depressingly lose. In any case, I can't sleep afterwards, so I'm watching movies.
You'll come back with like 800 movies watched. Bill, I haven't slept a wink.
Well, hopefully the World Series will come quicker than that, and I'll be able to celebrate at the end of it. But not a sports broadcast, definitely a pop culture broadcast. Thanks for listening, everybody. We'll see you next time when we talk about horror movie slashers.
Did I ever tell you about the time I dressed up as Barney?
No.
The purple dinosaur?
Never.
See, we're going right off the rails again. So when I was a 16-year-old, I worked at a fast food restaurant. Don't start laughing or I'll start laughing. I worked at a fast food restaurant called Roy Rogers, which was small but around here in the East Coast. And, kid at 16 will do anything to get off the grill. So the manager said, does anybody want to dress up as Barney? We're having a party here. We're trying something new. We're going to get a Barney suit. I said, I'll do it. So I almost said the shit shows up because it was shit. It came with holes in it. It was stinky. And it turns out it wasn't even Barney. It was, quote, your favorite purple dinosaur. Okay? So you know what's going on here now.
The dollar store version of Barney.
They got the shit version of Barney. So I'm putting this thing on, and I'm already an awkward kid at 16. Try walking in a 60-pound Barney suit. I felt like one of the Ninja Turtles. So as I'm lumbering around, and all these little kids are beyond excited to see me, I'm knocking them down with my big-ass purple tail. Like, I'm just taking them down, and I have no idea. I'm smacking tables and chairs, and because of this big dumb head, I can't hear that I'm doing any of it. So one of the bosses had to come out. Oh, we need to take Barney back for a minute. We'll bring him right back out. Yeah, I'm like, well, Barney looks fucking plastered. He's fucking drunk.
You just fucking Godzilla'd those kids.
Yeah, I fucking traumatized a lot of them. They were asking questions. How'd you get here? And I used to have an old red Mazda pickup truck, and I pointed out to that in the parking lot. You drive a red truck? I'm like, maybe I shouldn't have said that. Like, I tried to do the Mickey Mouse thing where I didn't actually talk. I just kind of pointed. And that freaked everybody out because they're like, you got a voice. We're here to hear you. I'm like, well, that wasn't part of it. I'm not getting paid for that. Anyway, hope you enjoyed that. Going back to the Ninja Turtles. So I feel their pain trying to do